Hey, how you doing, everyone? Okay, so I was looking for the 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris because obviously I want to give it a watch. And during my search for that, I came across this, and it's a snippet from the interview, and it raised a really interesting question. So I just want to play it here, and then I'm going to give my thoughts on it, and I guess we just go from there. So here we go, straight into it.
You have accused Donald Trump of using racist tropes. In
hmm
fact, you have called him a racist and divisive. Yet Donald Trump has the support of millions and millions of Americans. How do you explain that?
I'm glad you are pointing these comments out that he has made that have resulted in a response by most reasonable people to say it's just wrong.
Right, okay, so we'll pause it there. Kamala Harris gave a bit of a political answer as opposed to what I would think of as more of a genuine answer, but it's understandable given the circumstances. Part of the reason why Hillary Clinton lost in 2016 was because of the Basket of Deplorables reference, and it's something which the Democrats are trying very, very, very hard not to repeat, because you basically have a situation where you have a person with whom a good chunk of the country, the Democrats, say is a racist bigot. Donald Trump. They say he's racist and he's bigoted. The problem there is well, if he is this and he has support of almost half the country, what does it say about his supporters? And it's a good question. It genuinely is a good question. How do you get past that? But you're not accusing half the country of being racist because that's crazy and insane, and it's also wrong. It's not true. But a lot of people support him. So what's the deal here? Um, I think there's a couple of points to this. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not 100%, but I just want to throw my thoughts out there. The reason for it is this: Democrats and the left, more specifically, have been accusing the Republicans of being racist for a long, 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 long time. It's the trope, oh, it's racist, oh, it's sexist, oh, it's misogynistic, it's this, it's that, it's the other. And so, for a lot of people, they've basically just become numb to it. It's kind of like what I said in other videos with Trump. We've almost had a decade of Trump, and during that time, people have just gotten used to how he talks and how he acts and what he says. People expect him to lie, basically, and it's rationalized away. Likewise, with this particular situation, making comments such as saying that there are populations of people within the United States, which I'm assuming would include American citizens, or he's including American citizens in that. He said have bad genetics. Um, I'll give you a little hint. When he talks about that, he's not referring to people from Scandinavia, predominantly white. He thinks they're great, and he says that why can't we have more people like that coming to the United States? I believe he said that after he was elected in 2016. Um, he's talking about people from, let's be clear here, places like Haiti, the Caribbean, Mexico, etc. Um, he believes them to be people who are genetically predisposed towards violence and aggression and committing crimes. Now, this is, let's be really clear here, a racist trope. It just is. It's one of the oldest tropes there is. People who are not white are genetically predisposed towards violence. That has been a racist trope and forever. Um, so and he basically compares human beings to horses, says he believes horses have a genetic predisposition, so human beings must have the one as well. Now, obviously, I don't want to go down the road of getting too deep into that. I mean, there are arguments to be made about how much of our genes play a part in our behavior, how nature versus nurture. Like, do we really have free will, or is as things already determined? There's a lot of questions there. I don't think Trump is qualified to go into that, but I'm very suspicious of people who bring this thing up. It's basically people who bring up the genetic determinism. Because you're basically one step away of saying, these people are the pure ones who are, it's almost saying you can now screen these things out, who's bad and who's good genetically. Um, so that is racism. It just is. Now, why isn't it getting more of a play? The short answer is because, MAGA supporters can rationalize it. They can rationalize it. So they'll say things like, well, we know that genetics play a part in this, and therefore there will be populations of people who have that. Forgetting the social implications and forgetting the fact that that's not quite how genetics works. But it can be rationalized. And people who make the accusations are basically accused then, like you said, it's the Mott and Bailey type thing, where someone will basically go, Trump will say something, people will say, well, hang on a minute, Trump said this, they'll rationalize it, and then they do the flip side, which is they then say, "Oh, are you suggesting that a lot of people in the United States are racist?" So, no, they're rationalizing his bad behavior, much in the same way, just like I said before. We're all we've all come to normalize the fact that he lies a lot. It's the same for me. It's the same kind of deal. So it's to sum it all up, just because this is like getting to 5 minutes now, way longer than I wanted to do on this. You've got a situation in which you have the left has been overdoing it for a long time with the accusations of everyone's a racist, everything's racism. It's such a boring cliche, but it's the argument that's used, so you may as well meet it where it is. You have that side of it, and then you have the other side, which is people are able to rationalize it away. So when someone goes, "Oh, what's Trump saying is racist?" Oh, well, that's what the Dems always say. The liberals always accuse, so and so of being racist. So if they're saying it, then he must be doing something right. If you're upsetting the libs, then he must be doing something right, basically. In a nutshell, that's why it is, from my point of view. If you disagree or you think it's something else, great. Put it in the comments. We can have a chat about it. But personally, I think that's basically what it boils down to. So yeah, I'll leave it there. Cheers. Bye.